And we can now name that gunman, that 20-year-old from Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. His name is Thomas Matthew Crooks. So we're now happy to go with that. Of course, it's a name that has been doing the rounds on social media for much of the afternoon, but the FBI has now confirmed that is his identity. They had been a little reluctant to announce that in the press conference. They were still going through their processes at the time, but now they have come forward and we can now report that gunman, that 20-year-old gunman's name is Thomas Matthew Crooks, and he is from Bethel Park in Pennsylvania. He was the man on top of that roof who opened fire on the former US President Donald Trump earlier today, and he was the man that was killed shortly after by those incredibly quick responding Secret Service details. So a major development here in this story right now, Ange.
Yeah, and that'll be a name that'll go down in history now. We'll know that name, Thomas Matthew Crooks. Do we know anything more about him? I mean, I know these days most of us have some sort of social media online presence, and investigators will be looking at all the video and the like that was filmed on everyone's iPhones at that event to see what pictures people may have had of him climbing up onto that roof, shooting the former president, but also what his interests were, whether he had suggested that there were any indications that he would do something like this. Just as I'm speaking, we're looking at video at the moment, a TMZ video of him actually on that roof just moments before he was taken out by Secret Service officers. But to my point, David, I guess, do we know anything more about this guy's online presence? Was there any indication that he was capable of something like this, or in fact planning it, plotting it, had a manifesto?
Nothing that we're happy to go with at the moment. So, of course, he's a 20-year-old in America. He has a social media footprint, and that is being looked into right now. Investigators will also be looking into any other motivations that he may have had for carrying out this attack. They are not willing to go public with that right now. We heard from them earlier today, and they had said that they were still searching for a motive. As for anything like a manifesto, well, you have and I have. We've covered enough of these shootings in the United States. Nothing as dramatic or quite like this, but still some awful, awful scenes of tragedy. And quite often, I'll just wait for that truck to go, quite often in these cases there are manifestos, there are these letters, there are other forms of information that are left behind by these people that can tell us a little bit more about their politics. That is going to be looked in very closely.
Yes, and obviously the big question now is whether this was strictly politically motivated, whether he had mental health issues, he was more of a lone wolf, and not so much politically motivated. But thank you for bringing us those breaking details, David. We will come back to you as our coverage continues. Special coverage on the 7 Network of the attempted assassination of Donald Trump. We'll be back soon.